Welcome to It's a First, where every great story begins at the very first moment. This is Season 1, Food Origins, Chapter 3, Episodes 21 to 30. Sit back, relax, and let's discover where it all began. If you think this purple dessert gets its color from food coloring, you're completely wrong. That vibrant purple has been growing in the Philippines for generations. It all starts with ube, a purple yam that's naturally bright violet inside. Long before it became famous online, Filipino families were already turning it into delicious desserts. One of the earliest and most beloved creations is ube halaya, a rich, creamy jam slowly cooked with milk, butter, and sugar until it becomes smooth and flavorful. Over time, ube found its way into cakes, pastries, ice cream, bread, and drinks, eventually becoming one of the Philippines' most recognizable flavors. Today, cafes and bakeries around the world proudly serve ube desserts, introducing millions of people to a flavor Filipinos have loved for decades. Sometimes the world's newest trend has been part of someone else's tradition all along. Thousands of Filipinos chase this man every morning because of what he's selling. One of the country's favorite breakfasts, taho. Long before taho became a Filipino street food, it started as Chinese dua, a soft tofu dessert enjoyed across China. When it reached the Philippines, Filipinos made it their own by serving warm, silken tofu with arnibal, a rich brown sugar syrup, and chewy sago pearls. Instead of cafes or restaurants, taho became famous through street vendors carrying 2 metal buckets, calling out "Taho!" every morning. For many Filipinos, hearing that familiar call means breakfast, childhood, and mornings that instantly feel like home. Sometimes, the simplest traditions become the ones we remember the most. Everyone thinks this famous dish started in Bicol, but the story isn't that simple. The rich, spicy flavors were inspired by Bicolano cooking, especially the region's love for coconut milk and chili. That inspiration reached Manila, where Seli Calao popularized the Bicol Express that most Filipinos know today. The dish combined pork, coconut milk, shrimp paste, and plenty of chili into one unforgettable meal that quickly became a favorite. Today, Bicol Express is served across the Philippines, proving that a regional inspiration can become a national classic. Sometimes, the best ideas travel before they become traditions. This famous Filipino pie exists because someone couldn't find apples. After studying baking in the United States, 3 sisters returned home to Laguna with one question: what fruit could replace apples? The answer came from Soledad, Aurora, and Jessie Pahud. Using fresh young coconut, they created the original buko pie at Oriental Store in Los Baños, Laguna. Its flaky crust and creamy coconut filling quickly became a favorite among travelers passing through Laguna. Today, buko pie is one of Laguna's most iconic delicacies, enjoyed by Filipinos and visitors from around the world. Sometimes, the best recipes are born from simple substitutions. One of the Philippines' favorite desserts exists because someone stopped using the oven. Long before mango float, Filipinos enjoyed crema de fruta, a layered dessert that took much more time and required baking. As refrigerators became common in Filipino homes, home cooks reinvented the recipe using graham crackers, cream, and sweet Philippine mangoes, creating the no-bake dessert we now call mango float. Without baking, families could prepare it in minutes and simply let the refrigerator do the rest. Today, mango float is a favorite at birthdays, holidays, and family gatherings across the Philippines. Loved for its simplicity and refreshing flavor, sometimes the best recipes aren't invented, they evolve. This famous Filipino bread wasn't actually born in the Philippines. Its story began centuries ago on the Spanish island of Majorca, where bakers created the original ensaimada, a light, spiral-shaped pastry. When Spanish baking traditions reached the Philippines during the colonial era, Filipino bakers reinvented the recipe by making it softer, richer, and topping it with butter, sugar, and grated cheese. That uniquely Filipino version quickly became a favorite for breakfast, merienda, and special celebrations across the country. Today, ensaymada is one of the Philippines' most beloved breads, proving that great recipes can become even better as they travel. Sometimes, the best traditions begin with an old recipe and a new idea. One of the Philippines' most famous desserts was created because one baker wanted an easier way to enjoy a cake. Before Sylvanas, there was sans rival, a rich French-inspired cake made with layers of cashew, meringue, and buttercream. In the late 1970s, Trinidad Trining saw Gerberia of sans rival cakes and pastries in Dumaguete, flattened the cake into a handheld frozen cookie that became known as Sylvanas. She coated each one with fine cookie crumbs, making it easier to eat while keeping the same rich flavors people already loved. Today, travelers from all over the Philippines visit Dumaguete just to bring home a box of the original Sylvanas. Sometimes, a small change creates an entirely new classic. This famous Filipino candy began with one simple problem: too much fresh milk. In the dairy towns of San Miguel, Bulacan, families raised carabaos that produced plenty of fresh milk. But without refrigeration, they needed a way to make it last longer. By slowly mixing fresh carabao's milk with sugar, they created a soft, creamy candy that became known as pastillas de leche, turning fresh milk into a sweet delicacy. Soon, Bulacan artisans wrapped each piece in colorful hand-cut paper, making every piece look as beautiful as it tasted. Today, pastillas remains one of Bulacan's most iconic delicacies, shared as gifts and enjoyed by generations of Filipinos. Sometimes, the sweetest traditions begin with the simplest ingredients. Millions of tourists buy piaya as a souvenir, but that's not why it was created. Long before souvenir shops existed, bakers in Negros Occidental wanted to make an affordable snack using local muscovado sugar, the island's sweetest treasure. They wrapped that rich brown sugar inside soft dough, flattened it by hand, and cooked it on a hot griddle until the outside turned lightly crisp while the center became warm and gooey. What started as a simple, everyday snack quickly became a favorite across the island. Travelers eventually discovered it and couldn't leave without bringing some home. Today, piaya is one of the country's most recognizable delicacies, proving that simple ingredients can create unforgettable traditions. How did a simple way of roasting a pig become one of the Philippines' most celebrated dishes? Long before Spanish colonization, communities across the Philippine archipelago were already roasting whole pigs over open fires during important gatherings. When the Spanish arrived, they called it lechon, meaning roasted suckling pig. The name stayed, while Filipinos made the tradition their own. Over time, every region added its own touch. Cebu became famous, while other provinces created their own beloved versions. Today, lechon remains one of the Philippines' most celebrated dishes, bringing people together for countless special occasions. 30 stories, 30 firsts. Food was only the beginning. Subscribe and join us as we uncover the first people, places, inventions, and moments that shaped our world. Because everything has a first. Every first has a story.
It's a first.